Hey everybody, welcome to episode 2 of this year's RDCember 2022, of course, where you are telling me what the 12 best units are in Wargame. Now we're taking a look at unit number 11, or the 11th best unit, which is not the Aluent. We're gonna probably see this in the top 5 of units, but no, we're taking a look at the Legion 90. Legion 90, I think most of you are aware, a very, very formidable squad. First things off, transports, nothing special. They're okay. WebT20 is for shock squads of this price is actually pretty decent. You can always use like an autocannon like that. Helicopter transports, Prima Pirate is okay. But given that you only get one card of these anyway, and the role they have, most of the time you're better off using them in a ground-based transport anyway. So even if you could choose any transport helicopter in the game, you'd probably still be best off using the WebT20. Now, infantry squad itself, let's start off with the basic rifles and the DMG, right? Rifles, just your standard assault rifle, nothing special. Doesn't hold a candle to the Commander's 90 F88, but that's a very, very unique weapon anyway in terms of the stats. No other weapon has these stats. It's a normal assault rifle, it's fine. The Minimi, the MG, certainly the star of those two weapons. Arguably the best MG in the game, in my eyes it is, but I don't really do any of these tests anymore, so take it with a small pinch of salt. One of the best MGs in the game, so Legion 90 still not like top 5, but certainly up there when it comes to anti-infantry DPS compared to other shock squads, and obviously it's gonna outshine every line infantry squad. But when it comes to other shock squads, certainly up there. And obviously the star of the show, the Eric's. Eric's is an ATGM, meaning it is guided, which means that if you get stunned while you are guiding a missile, if you lose line of sight while guiding, or if you move while guiding, which mostly happens if you like happen to stand in a fire or something while on attack move, you will miss. However, it's not just your normal ATGM. If you take a look at Milan, you will quickly see that, for one, it has an aim time of 0.2 seconds versus 2 seconds of all other ATGMs, meaning you have the lowest possible aim time in the game, just like, other anti-tank weapons on infantry. But when it comes to ATGMs, ground-based ATGMs, only the Erics and the Bomber have that. Which is crucial, because imagine if the Legion 90 had 2 seconds aim time on their Erics, you would be a sitting duck in forest very often against a well-microed vehicle. Couple that with the incredibly high speed of 1000 starting and the max speed of 1200, for all intents and purposes, in the majority of cases, it's kind of as if it was fire and forget. There will be cases, and they're not that rare, in all honesty, there will be cases where it being guided, of course, is a downside. But let's not forget that it has a 1000-meter range, which is a lot, when you compare to VDV 90, right? 875 with less AP, more accuracy though, and low rate of fire, because Eric's has 5 seconds zero time, 12 RPM. Guided for another 175-meter range is certainly a worthwhile trade-off. Plus, of course, you get even more AP. And if you consider the fact that, let's say, Legion 90 are defending a town, right? The 175 meters, if you, make a circle around the town, the actual area, the additional area that you defend is much, much larger. P squared, yada yada yada. You get the gist. Look, it's been a while since I calculated the area of a circle. You get the idea. It is, these 175 meters really are not to be underestimated. It's such a huge boost. Also, actually, noise value on the Erics, 2 essentially means you can spot Legion 90 twice as easily or from twice as far away as if they were not shooting. If you compare that again to VDV 90, the Vampire actually has a higher noise. All ATGMs have a noise value of 2. I'm pretty sure almost all. For anti-tank weapons, I think that is like based on the caliber or something like that. Yeah, it's essentially 2 plus caliber in millimeters times 2, right? So, oh no, sorry, 1 plus. So, 1 plus 0.58 times 2 is 2.16. Or in this case, 1 plus 1.05 times 2 is, look at the bottom left, right? It's still VDB90. 3.1, right? But all HHMs are standardized at 2, which isn't a huge deal, but it's worth pointing out. And last but not least, of course, compared to other shock squads, let's just pin these guys. Legion 90 have more speed. They're light infantry, and light infantry gets a 5 kmh speed bonus for no good reason. Yeah, Legion 90, incredibly versatile, incredibly deadly, both with infantry and, of course, any vehicles. Huge area of like influence they have, even if in a defensive position, and the speed not only makes it more survivable, because it's, besides their stealth, the next or the only other way to keep infantry alive, really. Allows you to keep them alive more easily, allows you to sneak them around, or just maneuver in general, right? They even carry like a lot of missiles as well, because light infantry also gets additional rounds for the anti-tank. Maybe even for all of their weapons, now that I look at it. So the all-round package of Legion 90 is just so good. There's honestly, I can't think of another shock sword that is quite as good, you know, other than, let's say, Files Kingmaker 90, which are essentially the same thing, but 5 points more for 5 more men. They're arguably stronger, honestly. I think it's worth pointing out, even though this is about Legion 90. They're arguably stronger because the 5 extra HP makes them so much more survivable, while them also being very strong against infantry. They have a battle rifle, which I prefer on shock squads, but of course they lose the mini-me and get an MG3 instead, which is kind of a side grade depending on how you look at it. Even more Eric's ammunition, but again, mainly that extra HP for 5 points more makes him so much harder, you know, to be dealt with, especially in like mid areas on highway, right? That's where they really shine. And then at the end, not a quick vote distribution. I did a small oopsie last time on the y-axis. The relative, you know, bar sizes were still correct. I just used the wrong thing to calculate the percentages. So it wasn't that 50% of all votes for rank 1 were given to one unit. It was more along the lines of, you know, 11 something percent, which is still a lot, but you get the idea. So yeah, in this case, Legion 90 a lot more spread out. Beacon had very few at rank 1 and 2, but a lot more at 4 and 5. Legion 90 kind of spread out-ish. I think if you had a lot more votes, it would probably be even more, even if I had to guess, but you never know. So yeah, that's Legion 90. We'll see what the next unit has in store for us. I definitely think Legion 90 deserve to be up there, just like the Beacon deserve to be up there. Whether it's top 10 or top 5 is a whole different story, but I would certainly not disagree with this being among the top 12 units. So yeah, let me know what you think, and I'll hopefully see you next time. Bye bye. On the second day of Christmas, Eugen sent to me 2 Legion 90s and a Swedish Beacon 1C.